Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Good Servant Show. Praise Jesus. Number one. That's the first thing. First order of business. First order of business here at the Good Servant Show is praise Jesus. There's only two here right now, and no one's in the chat. But if anybody can hear me, and when they show up, it would be nice to get a some kind of confirmation in the box that you can hear me. That would be cool. But yeah, I mean, I was gonna maybe schedule. Hey, Dev, how you doing? I'm glad you're here. I really am. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so, while I don't mind doing the shows by myself, right? Now, here's the thing, right? A lot of people have requested that. Now, I'm still gonna have people on if they want to come on, and if it makes it a little bit easier, because really, it's just really about God being at the center of everything, right? Not putting anything else in the middle. So on that note, if someone is interesting and they could help me out and we could worship Jesus better, then I'm gonna do that. But if not, I'll try to do shows where it's just me and you guys. The problem is that uh, it's a twice as big of an effort, and so not that the amount of work matters. It's just you're on the spot, you're on the spot to come up with all the content, and so I even don't mind that either, but I don't know exactly what people are expecting, and so I mean for me, right, like the I never had to start this channel alone, really, because when I first started, I had Tom with me, and we just sort of treated it like just our morning conversation about truth, right? We just recorded it, and so it wasn't live. There was no pressure, because like being live, even if you're not doing anything, like I have no idea why, but it takes energy out of you. Like you just ran around the block or something like that. It's nerve wracking. And so yeah, so I don't know, but a lot of people said, "Oh yeah, I just want to hear you." I'm like, okay, it's weird to hear that, right? But it is what it is. But see, here's the thing, right? Like everybody that I've had, right? Like so Tom was great at first. Like me and Tom were like really good. Like we had good chemistry. And then yeah, me too. I love all those people. I know, Dev, that's crazy, right? And hey Alex, how you doing, buddy? And so so yeah, everybody that I prayed for, the first person I prayed for was Teresa, and I prayed for her to come to help me, and she was a big help. I mean, she's a strong lady, but she was a big help too. And so and it just sort of went from there. Just like I don't want to like keep putting people out, but like putting people out as far as like embarrassing them. But like I even prayed for like with Chris to come, because I remember we didn't have hardly any, like, we weren't hitting the young males demographic, right? And I always felt like that was the most highest risk people out there were young men, especially in this world. And so and of course I think of my own kids, right? And so there's that connection. But it seemed like every time I prayed for somebody, like, hey, I need someone that does what I don't do, or that can do this or that. um, Old Testament people or whatever, or people that are good with the extra canonical books or stuff like that. And it seemed like God was so great to me, like not just to me but to us, really, right? He kept sending good person after good person, and they're all good, right? They're still good to this day, right? Like they could, like if there was a rotation the way I wanted to be, then it would just be a nonstop. Everybody would love every show. I mean, I'm not saying that as far as like people would, like us or anything like that. That's, I'm not saying it that way, but I'm saying like the should be would have everything that it needs to have. And so if it fails, then it's just on us. And so I've been trying to, like, because of the upcoming, like, possible, there's going to be some possible tribulation, that I believe in a pre-trib rapture. I think it's next, and I think we're out of here soon. But a lot of people don't, and so I, I'm not a prepper, right? I definitely enjoy and admire preppers, how they do it. It's just so fascinating how they are able to buy all that food and make it to where it doesn't go bad. I mean, they're just, you got to be almost a genius, to do. I mean, it seems like, you just store food away, but no, there's a whole science to it. There's a whole science to it, and like even like ingredients or flavor or nourishment. It's like that's just the food part, right? Then there's all this first aid and all this other stuff, right? And so I was a soldier, right? Well, you never stop being a soldier, so I'm a soldier, and like I can look ahead, and if you have a lot of stuff, you're gonna have to guard it, right? So I don't want to be at my house guarding stuff, but I also don't want to be hungry either. There's better ways to die than to be starving, right? Hey Rob, how you doing, buddy? Oh, you know what, Rob? I don't have my thing open right now. I always like it's only because I don't see you every day, but like I want to give you a wrench too, man, but I don't have it open right now. But here's the thing, I might even have to reset them. That sucks, right? Because I start liking and giving out wrenches, and it starts to be fun, and uh, then it ends up then I got to reset them, and then it started over. Because someone told me yesterday, and I kind of knew this before, right? But I didn't know that if you had a wrench, you could erase comments in the comment section, like erase people's comments or ban people when they're not looking or something. I don't know. I don't know. And that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of power to give somebody. So if anybody is ever banned, right? I'm going to put this up right now. If anybody is ever banned and they feel that it is not fair or they don't know why, please email me so I can unblock you. And right now there's only two people blocked, and yeah, both of them are ferociously mad over nothing. So they have some kind of personality disorder or malady, and so there's two people that can't come back here as of right now. But if they email me, I'll unban them. I will, especially if they're serious, because it really is right about loving each other even past what a normal person would take, because that's what I mean, that's what the Bible teaches. It teaches radical forgiveness. I mean, if your brother or sister sins against you like 490 times in one day, to forgive them, and if they start slapping you in the face, you turn the other cheek. Like, That's pretty radical advice, right? And so it's not exactly mental what do you what do you call it, psychiatry or whatever. Not that I'm not giving advice. Go see your psychiatrist if you want advice on psychiatry. But I'm saying and well, see, and that's the thing, Deb, I'll say this. If somebody's like acting crazy in the chat, I would just much prefer that you just ban them for life and then just tell me what happened, and then I'll unban them later. Because this whole 10-minute timeout or 5 minutes or whatever it is, it just seems like a lot of work, especially when this is life or death stuff, man. Like this isn't like, come to Good Servants a birdhouse tutorial and we'll teach you how to make the best birdhouse for your apocalypse or something. This is like, life or death, right? Like I think of like, my dad or my mom or my aunt or whatever that that isn't saved. I think about, my mom is saved, but like I'm saying, hypothetically, that's what this is about. If you have family members that aren't saved or friends that aren't saved, that's a serious thing. That's a serious thing, especially now that we're running out of time. Hey, Baba, how you doing? I saw you slide in here. It's so hard sometimes. Well, and that's the thing, right? That and I had to think about that, Rob. Like, is like, do I keep letting people take advantage of do I keep letting people take advantage of my kindness, and do I keep letting people be mean to me when I haven't done anything to them? But at the same time, I know that this place it doesn't, it belongs to God, right? And so it is what it is. Yeah, someone was talking about channeling. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know who it was. And yeah, I mean, I get it. People are finding out like people are finding out um, information that is like really difficult, like stuff to hear. And so I went down this one rabbit hole, right? About and I hate that saying or symbolism, right? But I went down this one path of study, and it was about like clones and what else was like something about clones in Hollywood or something like that. And sure, I mean, did the guy sound sincere? Yeah, but after a while, he kept saying like, "Well, I'm not asking for money, and I don't make any money off of this, and this is what I do." And but like, it's like so many times he said it so many times that it's like, oh, this is fake. This is not this guy's not real. Like there is no you know clone of Britney Spears that's exactly the same age as Britney Spears in some warehouse somewhere. Now if there is, then bravo, they'd have the perfect deception to hide it, which is like try to put it out in a way that doesn't sound true. So that's like next level genius. And you know what, if they if that's what it is, then bravo. But yeah, I like the guy himself. Like I was like Googling him, and like no one's ever heard of the guy, and he just kind of popped out of nowhere, and he wasn't benefiting at all from it. It's like, okay, well, yeah, there's no yeah, there were many Trumps. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. So you mentioned, yeah, and this morning, Bubba brought it up again, and we kind of talked about it. If I would say this, right? If there's some things, okay, so
some variables and nuance to some things, right? If I've known you for a long time, and then all of a sudden you're saying stuff like that, I'll probably be more patient about that, you know? I mean, not that there's much I could do about it anyway, because if you're in that state, you probably will make as many sock accounts as you had to do to come back or to do whatever, you know? So it's not like that, like it would really end anything. But like if one of you starts talking like that about witchcraft and all that, I would be more concerned for you than anything. You know what I mean? Especially if I'm like, oh wow, I've known her for like 2, 3 years. Now all of a sudden she's talking about that, and you're like, maybe maybe there's something I can do to be a little bit more helpful, you know? And so, yeah, there's a couple of people that I've known a couple of years that are talking about some pretty crazy stuff, you know? And not that I'm not saying that crazy stuff can't be true. I'm just saying that if you have something to say that is you know, related to um you know, the Bible and upcoming end times, and it has a lot to do with Jesus, right? Which is all of us. That's our most intimate and closest relationship we have with anybody. It's very sensitive, right? And then you're going to make all these big claims, right? That it's you know, you have to be able to prove some of this stuff if you're going to make claims that are possibly hurtful in nature in that way. Now that gets me moving a little bit faster than most things, right? But even then I understand that like the worse off a person is, the more help they need. And so no, you're yeah, no, you're absolutely right on that, Dev. No, they don't belong here. um I that's yeah, there's not too much leeway there on that. No. No, but like if like let's say I've known you for like you know, as long as I've known you, Deb, and then you come in here and you start saying something weird like that, I would just think there's something wrong with you, and I probably need to talk to you. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I banned the guy. I banned the guy for less than that, so I just undid it to see if I could help him. That's all. And so people think you have more power than you do when you're up here. I don't have that. Like, there's not much that I really can do, right? Like you, because nowadays, right, you if you block somebody, it really doesn't take much to come back. See, when I made my second account, man, it took me darn near 20 or 30 minutes, man. I was like, oh man, this is a pain in the, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going through this to make like 100 or whatever accounts so that uh you know, so I have no, man, that you know how long that would take. I don't have that kind of time, right? And maybe now it's easier, I don't know, but you know, whenever the date is I made my good servant 2 account, it took me like 20 minutes. And you know, granted, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, you know, either, but can you imagine like so when we get you remember when we got spammed up in here by it seemed like, you know, account after account after account, like that's a guy doing it's a guy they hire. He's a young guy, and he makes like, I don't know, 50 or 100 accounts, and then he just keeps changing the account, so when you ban them they just keep coming. But I mean, who has time to do all that, right? You make 100 accounts at 20 minutes a day. I mean, I don't even know how much time that is. That's, you know, you're probably looking somewhere close to, you know, 30 hours of work. That's insane, right? To what? To troll a guy for, 15 minutes? I don't know, man. I hope the guy got paid a whole lot to, I mean, I can't imagine getting paid a whole lot to come spam the Good Servant show with the 8 people that are usually here. But well, lately we've been getting a lot of clicks afterwards, so that's not bad. I don't mind that so much. Yeah, I know. Why troll here? Well, hey, especially because it's not going to have the effect that they want it to have. Because I actually get kind of excited about it. Ooh, I'm being trolled. It's almost like a status symbol. You're like, ooh, I made it to the list. Usually only people that are up and coming can get trolled like that. And so I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on how mad people get when they leave. And people could turn on you quickly. I learned very early on that you can't really do a lot wrong, or else people will use that against you. So it's hard. I mean, you got to be pretty squeaky clean, or else people will take any little tiny thing that you do, and they will ruin you. You know. And so, like, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You haven't made it on the list until you. Right, right, right. Well, there's a certain type of troll, right? Okay, so anybody can get like have somebody come here and flip out or something like that, right? There's no value to that, right? It's just like somebody hurting, and you feel bad for them, you feel bad for the people that got to witness it. It's kind of bad all around, right? But the type of trolling that it takes to shut this like chat down for 15 minutes, like, now that takes some work and some effort, and you have to hire a guy. Like, I mean, a lot goes into that. I think the guy gets $20 or something like that to mess with your chat for 10 minutes or so. I don't know how it works. I forget how much it is. I forget, but it's just a young guy that keeps making uh YouTube channels or whatever over and over and over again, or I don't know, or maybe it automatically makes them. I don't know. Only in the book of life. Yeah, that's the A. I'll tell you what. That's the list I want to be in for sure. Absolutely. And so, like, a lot of people. Oh, so that's a good thing to talk. Like, here's the thing, right? A lot of people have different beliefs on you being in the book of life from before the foundations of the earth. And I always thought that meant, right? Because a lot of people would tell me, well, yeah, we were all here before the earth, like hanging out with God, and we were on the list or something like that prior. And I always took that to mean that because God created the beginning from the end, right? That, like, you know, the end was in sight first, and then everything got created back. And then if you're in the book of life, it's just because God knows everything about you from that moment. And yeah, we are in the spiritual end times. Expect a lot of personal attacks. Yes. Well, sometimes I like I'll it's funny, man, because sometimes people will be like totally like they'll be angry at me over something that I think is maybe small, or I'm thinking like is not, because I try to be sensitive too. Like, just because something's not big to me doesn't mean it's not big also, right? And so, like, I do try to be sensitive to that. But I was like, well, man, people are mad at me over seemingly little things or things that aren't even my fault. And I'm like, I feel like people are like, when they're yelling at me, I almost feel like they're talking about someone else. Like, are you mad at me? Or are you like, what are you mad at? Like, but now I'm starting to realize that sometimes people are mad at you when there's nothing to be mad at you about. They're frustrated because they want to be mad at you about something. They want you to have some kind of you know, character issue or something they could work on to destroy you, you know? And I don't know why. Like what I mean, I couldn't imagine being that angry at somebody. Now I can't even imagine being really that angry at all. Maybe for a second, if I was frustrated about something, I could be angry. Not angry, loud maybe for a second. Not even that. I don't know. I mean, briefly, if there was a good reason, I can get frustrated. I don't know. But to be mad at somebody and like not be able to let it go, I don't know. I, I don't know I don't know how it works. You know, it's very odd to me. You know, and so like Rob's saying that. Oh yes, Debbie. Yes, have I asked anyone why? Of course. And so yeah, and that's the thing, Rob. You're right. It's just a spiritual end of days, right? And sometimes if they can't if they can't manipulate you, or they can't uh or if you're not doing something that they want, or you're not agreeing with them, or they have a problem with somebody else and you won't share that opinion, that's usually what happens. That's usually what people get mad about that. And then yes, there are the people that are not saved that come here and they don't want to hear anything um about God. Not you, Bubba. Not you, Bubba. Most people get mad and they leave. Yeah, I'm no. Like with us in here, if if people could get upset and then just come back the next day, like then that's just life, right? That's just grow. Like we're all growing. And if people can't forgive, like let's say like if someone came in here and had an embarrassing day and came back the next day, if people couldn't accept that and leave that other person alone, then then it goes both ways, we should be able to be patient, and I don't want to say tolerant, but like we should be able to be very patient and to handle each other and whatever, it should just be forgotten, like we that kind of thing. But I'm talking about like people that like they can't manipulate you a certain way. They want you to do something and you're not doing it, and they'll just leave and never come back, and it's like, well, was keeping you around even worth it in the first place, I mean, of course, like if you ask me, I want everybody to stay. Ask Deb, I used to chase people down. People would be like, I'm leaving, I'm never coming back. And I'd be chasing them down all day long. It would take me from when the show ends in the morning till when the show starts in the afternoon uh, to fix everything. And then I would be exhausted. And no, but Deb, sometimes when you quote scripture, any scripture, it makes them mad, man. It makes them mad. And I remember I won't say the guy's name, but there was a guy that I really liked. He was friends with me in Arwen. This was back in the day, and I liked him, but he wasn't accepting the fact that Christianity. He just wasn't like accepting reality, right? And neither did Arwen either, but he wasn't against it, right? We were all working on it, trying to get him there, right? And and so like there was this one guy that was just against it, and it seemed like the more nice you were to him, the more triggered he got. Like if you came at him, crazy, if you came at him crazy, he would be able to handle that, you know. But if you said, "Hey, how you doing, buddy? God bless you," you know, he would get ferociously mad. I mean, ferociously mad. I don't know. I don't know what. Who's mad? Is somebody mad right now? There's people in here. You can't see anybody else, Bubba? You can't see Alex and Deb and Rob? Bubba, do you see other people in the chat? There's like 8 people in here. Can you guys see Bubba? Yeah, no one's making me mad. We're talking about people that get mad. Oh, Rob is talking about like a little bit of scripture, right? That makes people mad. Like sometimes you could read like a little bit of a scripture and then people will get mad about that. Like almost like it's like a spiritual reaction, right? So like so someone will come here and be like non maybe not saved or maybe like have a demon or something, and then you read scripture to them and then they get mad. Yeah. I got like 20 things going on at once up here. I got like 20 different conversations going on in my head, and I'm trying to catch I'm trying to catch up with Rob right now. I'm a little bit behind. And no, nobody's. It takes a lot to get me mad. People get mad at me. No, 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 no. Rob read a verse, and like his brother-in-law or something like that, his younger brother would get like mad at him, right? Over the verse, even though it seems like a verse shouldn't really make you mad. It's got to be some kind of spiritual thing to make you mad or whatever. Does that make sense? We're talking about him and his brother. And so I think we're debating evolution, and I mentioned that God created us in his image. And I said that there was no way my great great grandfather was a snail. He got really triggered. Oh no. Um, yeah, I always used to say, yeah, I don't have a great great grand monkey, you know, like how, because it would still be happening if there were people still, if their evolution was happening, it would still be happening on a daily basis. There would be humans, brand new humans every day. Like, you know, okay, you're with us now. You know, like get in line over here now. We'll get you a social security number. You know, and and it's like, yeah. I mean, can you just imagine that? Like, you know, it's like a snake grows feet. You know, and he comes home, right? Like, where were you at? Oh, I was just out for a jog. He's like, oh, okay. Is that like slithering around? Oh, no. It's much different. It's a great way to stay in shape. It's a great way to stay in shape. Yeah, I don't come from a zoo. That's crazy, huh? From the goo to the zoo to you. I know. That's crazy, huh? Well, think about just how unreasonable, like, so people could, they'll argue over like, you know, oh look, see, the shell on the snail got harder, and so that means that it's evolving, you know. And they'll be talking about these little changes, right, and these little animals, right? And you know, fair enough, right? You know, the beak on a bird gets a little longer, you know, whatever, right? But it's not reasonable to believe it when it starts out, right? So you're telling me there's this flying rock, right, through a vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torr, and it's going like, you know, it's fast enough to be going 22 million miles, right, in, 4 different directions, every day. And a rain cloud pops out of nowhere in a vacuum and then follows this rock to rain on it. And so then the water, which I don't even know where that came from, or the rain cloud, started raining on the rock. And then what, like lightning hit it and, and an amoeba formed. Okay, well, what did the amoeba eat or breathe? Because, we got the water there, so it's drinking that. But like lightning hit a muddy rock, and this rain cloud, this very fast rain cloud that can exist in a vacuum, was none of that is even reasonable, right? Like, it's like, if you can't tell me how it started, then I'm not going to argue a fossil with you. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. What, you're skipping a bunch of steps. Now, you could be an expert on, Narnia or whatever, or, whatever you want, right? But it doesn't mean that it's real. And what's crazy is that, I mean, I've seen brilliant people that, when you're next to them, that you're next to someone special. I mean, there's just smart people. I mean, so smart that I'm taking mental leaps to understand. And I'm like, wow, I'd never been put in a scenario like that where um, someone was so much smarter than me that I couldn't understand them. And they just had no idea that what they believe is a lie. And then when you point it out to them, I mean, to a satisfactory point where they do understand it, they get mad. I mean, they get so like but not mad like in some kind of like violent or masculine way. It's more like mad like how a kid gets mad. Like mad you know, like a child, and you're like, wow, why are people freaking out, man? Because you told them that life doesn't just start automatically on its own. And it's that anger, right? I guess just not wanting God to be real, or that is there something about them, or is there something about God that what's the reason behind not wanting God to be real? Because to me, that was the greatest news of all time, to find that out. Like, it's like, what? It's real? Like, for real? Like, not just like something I think would be a great thing, or something that I want to be true. It's something that is true. And not only is it true, but it's not like we're created by some, like green monster that like wants to eat us, which would be his business, if that's what it is, right? But no, we're created by a loving God that can't lie, that takes our punishment and then wants to give us eternity in paradise. I mean, I can't think of very many things bigger than that. And it's like, wow, man, like yeah, man, it really is crazy. People would rather hear the bad news. Maybe that gives them the reason to, well, whoops, I already blew it, so I might as well you might as well just go live my life now. Like they want that or something. But with God, you can't blow it, right? I mean, of course you can become reprobate, but there's never a time where you can't start with God. It's just amazing, right? He makes it so easy, so easy. And I mean, wow. I really just wished my dad, probably, that's the thing, right? I wish my dad knew, like, was able to see the confirmation that I've seen in my life, right? Because it like, but even before there was a lot of confirmation, I still loved God, and I wanted it to be real. I mean, I guess I started in my mid 20s. Bubba's saying, The sermonettes create Christianettes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's very good, man. Yeah, most churches don't seem to try, and they just, yeah, and you know what? I think it's important to discredit evolution. I mean, it's important. Flat Earth is important, you know. I mean, look, I get it. It triggers people, so you know, I don't know if you want to stay on it all day or anything like that, but I do think it's important because it shows people that everything here is specifically made. Like nobody discovered water. Like, oh, hey, look, we can drink this. You know, I mean, water was made for us to drink. It was made for you know, specifically for our body, with our body in mind. You know, not like, oh, hey, look, I found this wet stuff over here, man. It's very refreshing. Like, you know, since it's not made specifically for our body, we can add stuff to it, you know, to make it better. You know, we can add flavoring to it or whatever, and you know, because if you knew that water was made specifically for your body, it's just like saying like a water antifreeze mix is good for your car. Uh, you know, you're not going to go and put Kool-Aid in it, you know. But if Kool-Aid was all you had around, you know, you would have to use it, you know, like even though it's not ideal. And so that's what we're doing. We're pouring all this non-ideal fluid in our bodies, right? Like Coca-Cola, Monster Energy drink, whatever, right? And you know, all in the sense that like everything here naturally formed, and you know, energy drinks is just the evolution in soda. You know what I mean? Like instead of like, okay, well, hey, look, that wasn't really made for our body, that stuff, and we should just drink water, which you would think would be simple, but just that little tiny mindset flip, right? Just that tiny um, shift really affects our decisions a lot. You know, if somebody told, like, if everybody knew that, you know, illegal narcotics on the street is witchcraft, right? Maybe less people would use just that little shift, just that little bit of truth. It's like, oh, I don't want to mess with spells and witchcraft out there. People are, you know, look at they're turning into zombies over stuff, you know. And obviously, they are getting degraded by these substances, you know. And so, you know, firsthand, I noticed that, right? Like, I was dying from like that kind of stuff. And so, like, had I known it was me, I don't know. Maybe I still probably would have used it. I don't know. I can't say that, but there are people that would have left it, would leave it alone just based on that, you know. And so, yeah, hey, and you know what? There's just going to be people that aren't going to like me, and they're going to try to find any reason, right? You know, and it hurts, right? But like, what can you do? Because like, you know, I really want to have like, you know, really a friendship with everybody. And, you know, I want everybody to be safe and to feel loved and like hang out here like they're one of the people, right? Because we are, right? We should all be accepted in that way. Sorry, I needed a drink of water. And so, yeah, I mean, we're just gonna get, you know, because I've had lovely conversations with people, you know. Why are you getting sad and depressed, Bubba? Oh, because of the end times? I mean, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, at least I know that they're coming and that God, you know, that we're gonna start our life with God, right? And so, you know, hey, I mean, hey, look, I get it, Rob, but I mean, sometimes people leave and they just leave and they're angry at me, and I don't know why. It's weird. Bubba, I don't know why you're saying it's you. It's just the end times. Everybody is facing that. It started with Rob and his brother. I don't know. No, no. Why do you feel like I'm talking to you? Yeah. Jesus is the good news, right? Just in the end times, right? People are just going to be like that, right? And like I mean, it just is what it is, right? Jesus said it would, I mean, he said that we would be hated, you know? And I mean, to the point where people might want to kill us. I mean, you saw how they treated Paul and all the apostles, and I mean, Jesus basically the best man to ever live, and they couldn't wait to get rid of him, you know? You know? Oh, Rob, Surreal said he was going to mute me the other day, and I have no idea why. But what does that mean, mute? Well, I don't understand what mute means. Is there a way to mute somebody on here? Because you guys aren't talking or anything. Oh, he was joking. He was joking about that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. No, I would say all the people that got mad here are all gone. You can mute people, Rob said. Or he means like block or something. That's probably what he means. It's probably Canadian for block. He's he speaks Canadian. Alrighty, guys. Well, um, yeah, it's time to hit that old dusty trail, guys. So if you see another fellow Christian out there, give him or her a hug. You never know if they need it. Well, I'd probably ask them first before you just go start grabbing people. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. Man, I love these intimate ones, man, are fun. Oh man, I gotta tell you, like this last half of this last week has been exactly what the doctor ordered, you know. I just yeah, it's just more confusion. It's a spirit of confusion, just meant to stir things up, you know what I mean? And so yeah, I mean me too, Bubba. Me too, man. Uh it's uh it's good to have like um just a slow, easy fellowship, you know, where you know we're not all bouncing around figuring out what's going on. Sometimes these can be pretty draining, but I feel great right now. I feel great right now. Alrighty, guys. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. All glory to God because he deserves it. Please pray for the children out there and pray for anyone being victimized. Please pray for each other. It's important. And I will see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing, at 7 a.m.